Now I want to go over this Greg Locke Facebook post. I posted about this yesterday. Pastor Greg Locke posted his position on Israel. And what I would like to do right now is to go over this post, not to attack him. I would like to examine the principality that is moving through him. I think we can all benefit from taking the time to break this down. And I'm not saying that I see everything or that I'm right. I want to describe it to you as it moves through my body. I think this might be helpful. Maybe not. You'll tell me. But I'm not attacking him as a person. That's why I don't even get attached to people. This is a principality. And if it stopped moving through him for some reason, it's just going to move through someone else. And it moves through any vessel that will accept it. So I'm not trying to beat up on Greg Locke. It's just he's the guy that's expressing this principality right now, and this post is just too juicy. It's packed with places we can learn about how this principality moves and how you can recognize it when you see it and how to not get fooled by it. This has got nothing to do with politics for me at all. It's got nothing to do with religion for me at all. This is just basic seeing through the bullshit, to be honest. And it's manipulation. It's deep manipulation. So let's go over it again. I'll read it for you one time fast all the way through, and then we'll break it down. So we might be here a while. Double time or keep scrolling, whatever suits you. Okay, he posted this the day before yesterday. Today is Monday, September 29th. Yeah, Monday, September 29th. And this is in all caps. Time to clear the air on my stand for Israel. It's truly an absolute shame that we are living in a day when everyone automatically assumes that your convictions and moral values are for sale. Every single day, I am accused of taking money from Israel. Trolls continue to post that I've been bought and paid for. Because of their own lack of courage and convictions, they can't fathom how someone can boldly and loudly proclaim something without a financial incentive. Let me be clear. I believe the Bible for free. That's in all caps. I have never received a penny, a dollar, or a shekel from Israel or anyone else for that matter to stand and speak up for the Jewish people. I'm not on anyone's payroll. I don't take side deals, and I refuse to allow my voice to be auctioned off to the highest bidder. It's sickening and saddening that we have raised a generation of spineless people that live their lives in a basement, projecting their own lack of character and courage on those who are actually doing something. My stand for Israel has cost us way more than people imagine. We've lost full sponsorship opportunities at Locke Media. We've had hundreds leave our church. We've been threatened, harassed, shot at, lied on, denied services, and constantly ridiculed in the media. However, I am just getting started, in all caps. I don't need permission. I don't chase money. I don't live to impress others. I don't fear what man can do unto me. I'm committed. I know the truth. I've seen the truth. I've been to Israel more than most people have been to the local mall in their hometown. I don't back down because people try the lazy games of intimidation. I support Israel as a land and as a people. I won't apologize for that. Money will never sway my stand. I have a brain and a Bible. That's all I need to keep going, and certainly all I need to sleep well at night. For years, we've fought some of the most controversial battles there have been to fight. No amount of hate has ever stopped us, and no amount of false accusations is ever going to change my mind. I stand with Israel. I support the Jewish people. I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I will fight for them. I will protect them. I will honor them. I will call them out when necessary. My mind is made up. My Bible is open. My resolve is unstoppable. You can remain miserable and weak if you so choose. I will remain strong, healthy, and blessed by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our church will be a safe haven for the Jews. If that bothers you, go somewhere else. I'm not playing. I'm not whispering, and I am definitely not backing down or shutting up. Dear Israel, I'm ride or die. You have a true friend in Pastor Greg Locke. It makes me sick to my stomach, because there's so much manipulation in here. And when I read something like this, I'm carving through each word and let me break it down for you, okay? It's truly an absolute shame, okay? That's the first time that he starts to try to shame you. Throughout the life of this, the body of this post is shame. He is trying to shame you, and that's what religious people do, especially religious Christian folk. Especially Christian pastors, I'll spit it out. They use shame and belittling. That's really the crux of the religion, is you're a dirty sinner, and that's why a guy had to be tortured and murdered for you because you suck, and that's why there's a dead guy hanging on the wall because you suck and you should be ashamed, and also you need to do everything they say because what you are naturally is shameful, and you need to be washed by blood in order to be sufficient. So Already, it's truly an absolute shame that we're living in a day when everyone automatically assumes that your convictions and moral values are for sale. Okay, he made a proclamation statement around which the rest of this post, he's going to frame it around this proclamation statement, this attestation of fact. He made it an attestation that everyone automatically assumes that your convictions and moral values are for sale, and built his argument around that. Stop right there. No, stop. You acted like that was settled, asked and answered. Everyone assumes that your convictions, okay, so you are belittling them. You are discounting and devaluing their discernment. They didn't automatically assume that your convictions and moral values were for sale. You devalue what was really their discernment, not their assumption. They discerned that you were for sale based on your behavior. But once again, you shrink them. This is what that principality does. It goes in your body and deconstructs what you know to be true, using tricks, including shame, and treating you like you're stupid and like you don't even have the authority to think. He says, every single day I am accused of taking money from Israel. Trolls continue to post that I've been bought and paid for. Once again, completely devaluing and discounting that there are many people who hold the position that some fuckery is afoot right here. And instead of explaining with a pure, open, clear heart, with kindness and compassion, the way Yeshua would have, okay? Instead of explaining, I know you guys think this. Let me explain to you my position. Let me explain to you why this isn't true. I understand why you think that because I respect you as a human being. Now, as a Christed one, as a truly Christed one, let me take the time to explain to you how I understand where you're coming from, but let me explain why you're wrong. That's what a Christed heart would do. That's not what he's doing. He's shaming and belittling you so that you won't even sit with your own thoughts because you feel bad about your own thoughts. And of course, immediately he says trolls continue to post. In other words, in your mind, putting the idea that whoever posts about this must be a troll. He says because of their own lack of courage and convictions, they can't. Okay, once again, that's shame and belittling. That is manipulation. He is telling you that he does not respect anyone who doesn't think the way he thinks or feels the way he feels. What he's doing is building inside the reader that you lack courage and convictions if you don't believe me. He says, let me be clear. I believe the Bible for free. He hits you upside the head with this Bible many times throughout this post, while completely railroading, gaslighting, just shoving it down your throat, forgetting that there is a whole entire he's trying to act like the entirety of the Bible is support Israel. That's what he's presenting it as. Like that Bible says one thing, and that is support Israel. And that's the only thing that the Bible says. He's dishonoring you. He's devaluing you. He's diminishing you because he's playing like you don't know that the Bible says a lot more things than just about supporting Israel. Like you are stupid and weak-minded if you think that Bible says anything other than I am to support Israel. Let's go over this word. This phrase. It's sickening and saddening that we've raised a generation of spineless people that live their lives in a basement, projecting their own lack of character and courage. So what he's doing, again, he's telling you how he feels about you. This is not a man with a Christed heart. This is not a man that's WWJD. This spirit, this principality, this is a principality. This is not a spirit of a true living God. This is not a Christed essence. This is manipulation. I'm going to do a part 2 because I'm not going to be done with this till I chew every bit of the flavor out of it. This is going to be part 2 of the breakdown of the Greg Locke post. Now, I already made this a couple times. I've already made this part 2 a couple of times. This is intelligent. This AI that's in all of our stuff is intelligent. It might not be able to fully understand what I'm saying, but it is tracking my harmonic. And I know that sounds paranoid, but it is where the fact pattern has led me. And I've felt this way for a while that it was doing it. But as of this morning, I'm certain of it. I've recorded this video twice already, almost 10 minutes worth. And it just freezes my phone. It won't even allow me to play it, to edit it. It just locked my phone down more than once. And no, it's not a space thing or anything else. So I'm going to try again. And I'm going to keep trying until I get this out, even if I have to do it 2 or 3 minutes at a time. Where I left off on part 1, he was indicting anyone who disagrees with him or anyone who has questions about his choices and Israel in general. He said, it's sickening and saddening that we've raised a generation of spineless people that live their lives in a basement, projecting their own lack of character and courage on those who are actually doing something. This hurts me to read. This is so disrespectful. He's telling you, he is seething. He's letting you know he does not love his followers. He does not love the children of God. He does not love the other humans. He's saying it's sickening and saddening. He's back to that shame. He started this post with shaming you. And I can only imagine people who are still working out their own salvation and the people who are still discovering what God is, who is this Yeshua? How does Yeshua jive with this God that you're talking about? And how does a pastor jive with Yeshua and God and the Bible? And how do I make all this fit together? So what is happening is there's all sorts of contradictions here. And those contradictions can overwhelm the mind and confuse them, especially ones who they don't have their feet on the ground solid yet. And then they follow people like this who are charismatic, who speak with authority, who they seem like they know. So if there was a person listening to their own discernment, anyone who's connected to their original heartbeat will know that you really mass unaliving and mass starving people in order to steal their land or take their land or even move on to it or for any reason whatsoever. You just don't fucking do that. Okay? I don't care. Yeshua would have never done it. Where's some WWJD people when I need them? What would Jesus do? He would not do this. So when people go down and they feel that conviction in their heart, that's like, I don't think this is right. And then they're following someone like him who purports to speak for a true living God, who purports to report on behalf of Yeshua, of Jesus, to speak the words of Jesus. He tells them, he says, it's sickening and saddening that we've raised a generation of spineless people that live their lives in their basement, projecting their own lack of character and courage. He just told those people that they're spineless and he's ashamed of them and they lack courage and they lack character because they're critically thinking through this situation and listening to the discernment in their heart that tells them something's wrong. He just tried to override the discernment, the true north, the Holy Spirit inside of your body. He said, you have no character. You lack character and courage if you aren't believing me and following me blindly, basically. He says their stand for Israel has cost us way more than people imagine. We've lost full sponsorship opportunities at Locke Media. We've had hundreds leave our church. We've been threatened, harassed, shot at, lied on, denied services, and constantly ridiculed. However, I am just getting started. He's saying, I have been victimized by these beliefs. And even though I've been victimized by them, I believe them so strongly because clearly they're correct, because why would I believe something incorrect? So my correct position has caused me to suffer greatly, but I am still holding it. I want you to feel sorry for me because I have suffered in furtherance of and in the steadfastness of my belief, which must mean that it is correct if I'm willing to suffer for it. See, all of the religious teachings that you are taught. He says, I don't need permission. I don't chase money. I don't live to impress others. I don't fear what man can do unto me. I'm committed. I know the truth. I've seen the truth. Well, let's talk about that truth thing, but let me go back. I don't live to impress others. I don't chase money. I don't fear what man can do unto me. I'm committed. Yes, you feel very safe, sound, and secure in your position right now because you have the archons and the chief archons standing behind you, supporting and encouraging you because you are perpetuating the will of the principality that is ruling here right now. You have the support of the ruling force, which just happens to not be a true living God. And this thing does not express the spirit of Yeshua. That's up to us. We are supposed to be doing that. You are supposed to be doing that, Greg Locke, but you're not. You are behaving monstrously. He says, money will never sway my stand. I have a brain and a Bible. In other words, he's smart and he follows the Bible. He's smart and holy. In other words, if you do not believe his position or support his position. You're stupid because he's the one with the brain. His position is based on a brain and a Bible. So I'm smarter than you and I'm holier than you. And if you disagree with me, then you are stupid and unholy. That one's very clear. He says, that's all I need to keep going at night, to keep going. And certainly all I need to sleep well at night. Let me go back. I'm sorry. The truth thing. He says, I've seen the truth. I know the truth. I have seen the truth. This to me is the biggest red flag in this entire post. Yeshua came here to teach us about our own power. He taught us to seek our own true north. He taught us that we have within us the spirit of a true living God, and we do not need a man in front of us. He taught us that we can move under the power of God that's in us. When he says that I've seen the truth, he's saying my version of truth is the only one that matters, and I don't respect your version of truth. I don't respect what you have seen. I don't respect what you hold in your chest as a true north. You need to hold what I hold as truth in your chest. But a truly Christed one, a benevolent leader, would know that the very best way you can lead your people is to empower them to function well without you. A true benevolent leader empowers people to be sovereign and independent, and empowers them to trust what's in their chest, to trust what they discern as truth. A benevolent leader would not try to pluck that truth out of your chest and put theirs in there and act like theirs overrides yours. That is not benevolence. That is not Christed. This is not a spirit of a true living God. This is a manipulating principality. He says no amount of hate has ever stopped us, and no amount of false accusations is ever going to change my mind. Greg, if it's false, prove it. Take the time, respect the people who listen to you, respect the people who follow you. Take the time to explain in detail how they are wrong. Respect them, respect their questions. If you're telling the truth and you have nothing to hide, it should be easy. And this is manipulation, saying no amount of hate has ever, no one's hating. It's actually you're manipulating. Okay, what they're doing is they love all of those innocent people who are suffering right now. They don't hate you or that group of people. There's no hate. There's sincere questions because some of your followers, in spite of you, have a spirit of a true living God inside of their body that's moving, and it convicts them and it gives them discernment. And they're wondering, why is this supposed man of God doing these things that are ungodly? That is not hatred. That is discernment, which should always be encouraged if and when you are a benevolent leader. I'm going to have to do a part 3. Part 3 of the breakdown of the Greg Locke post. I've been having issues with TikTok. I already uploaded this once. They removed my sound and now I don't have a good clean version of it. So I'm going to re-record it and then I'm uploading all of these to YouTube because I see how upset this is making the machine, and that makes me want to publish it even more because I am dead over the mark. I've been explaining how this post from Greg Locke is evidence of the principality that is at work on the planet right now. I'm not attacking him as an individual. I'm breaking down how this principality works so that you will be able to recognize it when you see it, and you will not be subject to these tricks because this is trickery. This is not the heart of Christ. This is not the spirit of a true living God at work in this man. This is an archonic principality that is manipulating you. So it's been a while now, and I've been through a lot with these videos. I'm not sure exactly where I left off before, but where I think I left off is where he is talking about, he says, no amount of hate has ever stopped us, and no amount of false accusations is ever going to change my mind. That is manipulation because I believe he knows, and this principality certainly knows, that it is not hatred that's causing people to question Mr. Locke. It's not hatred that is moving people to speak up against what is happening in that region. It is actually love that is causing people to speak up against it. This is gross, grotesque, archonic, demonic manipulation. People, y'all are always ready to scream about a demon here, there, and everywhere, but when they're right in front of you, you seem to miss it. This is how a demon speaks. They manipulate, they frame facts deceptively. There are some people who have hatred for individuals in that region, but far, far fewer than the ones who have a sincere heart for humanity and who can see that something not good is happening there. And we speak against it, and we would like for it to stop, because those are our fellow humans. It has nothing to do with hate, and this principality knows that. He says, no amount of hate has ever stopped us, and no amount of false accusations is ever going to change my mind. Again, false accusations, when someone says something false about you, you have the opportunity to correct the record if you choose. But he's not correcting the record. He's just gaslighting and manipulating and criticizing and shaming and ridiculing the people who have discernment. At the end of the day, that's what's really happening here. He says, I stand with Israel. I support the Jewish people. Okay, confabulating. Right there, he confabulated. In this post, he's confabulated the Bible with Israel, with the Jewish people. He's confabulated those three things as though those are all one thing. Through the body of this post, he has constructed this carefully in your mind, because that's how this principality works. I need you to know that this principality knows how your mind, body, spirit work way better than you know how it works. I have followed this stream of energy since yesterday. I've followed it through how it would move through a normal human body. This is very skillful. This is very crafty, what he has done. This principality knows you better than you know you. And I am trying to help you correct that so that you can be fully eyes wide open when things like this are done to you, and you can shut them down immediately. Don't let them into your spirit body. Don't let them into your energy body. You have to stop it at the door because you recognize it for what it is. So he says, I stand with Israel. I support the Jewish people. I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Okay, so now that's a third thing. I stand with Israel, with the Jewish people, and I pray for peace of Jerusalem. But not really. You really don't pray for peace for Jerusalem. If you did, that would be the crux of your conversation. But the crux of your conversation is not peace, is not safety, is not wholeness for everyone. If it was peace you so desired, you'd be speaking about peace. But these are fighting words, and you and I both know it. He says, I will fight for them. I will protect them. I will honor them. No one is asking you not to fight, honor, and respect people. Okay? And I know that you know that. That's what's getting me. I know that you know this. I know that the principality knows that no one's asking these people not to protect humans. What we're saying is we would like to protect, we would like to fight for, and honor all of them. All of the humans who are in this situation, not just one group of them. He says, my mind is made up. My Bible is open. Once again, my Bible's open. My mind is made up. In other words, my Bible says I must do this. I must support Israel. Why? Because the Bible says so. Again, trying to make it seem like the only thing at all that the Bible says is to support Israel, and that there's no other words in the whole Bible. That is manipulation. He says, my resolve is unstoppable. And then he comes in with the most grotesque manipulation, ungodly, not Christed whatsoever phrase when he says, you can remain miserable and weak if you so choose. I will remain strong, healthy, and blessed by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You can remain miserable and weak if you so choose. In other words, if you disagree with me, if you have beef with me, and if you don't like what's happening over in that region, then you are miserable and weak. And the only way you can be happy and strong is if you agree with me. This is not the spirit of a true living God. This is not the essence of Yeshua. This is not a Christed spirit manipulating you like this, framing it as though if you do not believe what he is saying, that you will be miserable and weak, and you have chosen to be miserable and weak. This is gross. He says, I will remain strong, healthy, and blessed by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In other words, if you do not believe me, if you are questioning me, I need you to know that you will not be strong and healthy and blessed by God. That's what he's saying. You will be miserable and weak and not healthy if you do not believe what I am saying right now, if you do not support the position that I have chosen. That is not representative of a true living God. It is not true. This is ego. This is not moving from a Christed spirit. This is not speaking from a Christed spirit. He says, our church will be a safe haven for the Jews. I'm glad. I want there to be a safe place for every single one of them. In fact, I would like there to be a safe haven for just all humans. That's really where we're coming from. We just want everybody to feel safe and have a safe haven and food. He says, if that bothers you, go somewhere else. I'm not playing. I'm not whispering. And I'm definitely not backing down or shutting up. Dear Israel, I'm ride or die. You have a true friend. Yes, because you worship Israel. That's who you worship. What you said here is I worship Israel, not a true living God, not the work of Yeshua. I worship Israel. And I need you to understand what kind of energetic settings had to have been inside of this individual in order for a principality like this to coil in and plug in to it, to plug into the bioelectrical system, the biomechanics of that body, the biomechanics of a body that would that would become symbiotic with a principality like this one. There's no way, if a Christed structure was built inside of that body, this principality would not have been able to enter and take up housing, okay? The only way that this happened inside of a person is if they were not Christed to begin with. A Christed, a whole armor of God geometry, energy body, aura, basically a complex lattice-worked aura that is Christed with the crystalline structures in it. Okay, it works like a whole armor, like a shield, like an armor, like a body armor. And a principality like this would not be able to get into your body and plug in and rule you like this. Especially, you can see that there's no high heart stopping this sentiment from coming through. As he's vomiting this, if I were to try to speak these words, my high heart would stop me immediately. My high heart would check them before they came out. As it came up out of my belly, it would be stopped by my high heart, my Christed heart, that would say, nope, this is unloving. Nope, this is not true. This is insincere. This is manipulative. My high heart would stop it, but there is no high heart stopping this. The fact that this principality has taken up such comfortable root inside this body speaks volumes.